would ask of you. We would ask that you watch over these drivers who have gathered here tonight, and we give thanks for a week of fierce competition with more to come. But through that fierce competition, Lord, forgiveness, grace, mercy, and friendship. These are the virtues we would hope that would prevail in a moment that would otherwise be tarnished by anger and regret. Keep their minds clear, and Lord, watch over everybody who have gathered on these grounds, the officials, the crew members, the drivers, and we give thanks that we live in a country which we're able to do so freely from persecution. We ask all these things and give thanks in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Field begin to make their way out to the Speedway for your first of 4 heat races tonight with the USAC AMSO Sprint Car National Championship. Heat race number 1 brought to you by Simpson Race Products. 10 laps the distance. You got to be in the top 5 if you want to race your way directly into the feature event. The driver on the pole, this one comes to you out of San Rafael, California. Driver of the Z-Max, DRC chassis number G3. It's going to be Frankie Guarini. Lining up next to him, the 39F. That is Steven Schnapp out of Evansville, Indiana. Driver of the American New Long, Johnny Jimpo Power, DRC chassis entry. Next row from the inside, Logan Calderwood out of Goodyear, Arizona. The MP Environmental one-way DRC chassis number 4J. And outside of him, that will be Justin Grant. In the NOS Energy Dreamboat Foundation, MPV Express, Kistler Maxim number 4. Next row from the inside, the 21AZ, that is Dason Pursley to Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the Special Olympics of Indiana, one-way DRC chassis number 21. And to his right, tonight's Honest Abe Roofing Quick Qualifier out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, the Telstar Technologies, Davis Brothers, Fathead Thompson family number 69. That'll be the Macho Man, Brady Bacon. The 19AZ, Mitchell Moles out of Raisin City, California, the AME Electrical, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Stanton Spike entry. He'll roll from the inside of your 4th row. And outside of him from 8th is going to be Gabriel Gilbert out of Greenwood, Indiana, the DRC Chevrolet Powered number 10G. Final row from the inside, Daniel Whitley. He's out of Ferndale, California. Driver of the Ray Automotive, Little Whippersnappers Daycare and Preschool, the Shine Shop, Jerry Burton, number 04. And your final starter comes to you out of Terre Haute, Indiana. Driver of the Maddox Heating and Cooling, Gressman DRC chassis number 28. That is Brandon Maddox. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here for Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 of 4 here tonight on this Indiana Sprint Week finale. Christy Bim is joining me up in the tower. It has been a week.
It feels like we just did this.
I swear, it's deja vu. Brady Bacon, a heat race winner here on Friday. Unfortunately, that part gets scratched out of the record books. It is a complete do-over here tonight for those of you who have been asking on social media.
And so, of course, if Brady Bacon's able to transfer directly through the Simpson Race Products Heat Race #1, he will find himself in a better starting position than what he would have had on Friday, just being the heat race winner as he is your Honest Abe Briefing Fast qualifier.
So last night we saw a huge shakeup at the front with the way the format works. Normally the top 6, those are your 6 fastest qualifying drivers. They transfer on, they're inverted. You can pretty much put it on there, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know exactly where they're going to be. Instead, you had drivers who were 9th and 10th in qualifying that were starting at the front of the field.
It happens sometimes when people do miss the transfer out of the heat race, and this is the tough part that we've tried to explain, and it's really hard to put it into words. It's a little bit easier on paper, but that's the tricky thing about the format, is that when you do have drivers in those top 6 in qualifying who don't make the transfer out of the inversion or out of the heat race, they get tossed out of that top 6 inversion, and they just continue to move up until you have drivers who have transferred in those top 6 spots.
You know, and throw another kink into that mix, the fact that Kyle Cummins came out, was not able to make his initial qualifying run. He got 1 lap at the end, but you cannot start any better than the lower 50% of the field. So that, instead of putting him as the 4th qualifier up inside those first 3 rows, it put him starting 13th.
It essentially serves as missing the heat race transfer when it's all said and done. So it played out the same in the way that the format works out. So yeah, for Kyle Cummins, he was still able to line up in the heat race in the same position. That penalty is served 1 time, and it's only served in the feature event where you can't start in the top 50% of the field.
And I know there are some people in the stands that are fans of Kyle, and they were not happy about that. Their sign language was evident of that. But that is done. That way a driver cannot manipulate the qualifying procedure, where if they look at the track and go, it's going to be better in a little bit, I'm just going to miss with a problem and then go out and, oh, look, I'm the quick time.
If that were the case, we'd be sitting around all day in some places waiting for people to go out and qualify. So you certainly can't have that. And that's a rule that's stated in every single driver's meeting, every single night that we race with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Series. They're all very well aware of that. Kyle Cummins would much rather start in the lower 50% of the field than not have a qualifying time at all.
Exactly, because by taking away his qualifying time, basically we're punishing him not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Every single time if you don't have a qualifying time. And you saw that with Kevin Thomas Jr., who did not record a qualifying time, started at the tail end of every single event he started last night.
He just wanted to show, you know what, don't need that time. I can charge up through this
Who
thing.
needs them?
Who needs them? Well, the heat race win you're definitely going to need here as we get ready to go green. Past the NOS Energy start can. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. They tap the Hoosiers on the way by. And it will be the G3, Frankie Guarini, jumping out to the early advantage. Schnapp going to snap to the outside, see if he can make something happen.
So Frankie Guarini pretty aggressive on that start, but Steven Schnapp not going away too quickly. Justin Grant going to enter the mix as Schnapp begins to get away.
Schnapp is snapping right now, moves her up into the top spot. The NOS Energy #4, not slowing down from last night. Justin Grant up into second, not for long. Here comes the 21AZ. Dason Percy with a run to the inside, brings it wide. Grant looks slow. Now here comes the G3 once again.
So Justin Grant going to sit back and let that play out as Dason Persley gets a huge run on the outside of the racetrack, passes Steven Schnapp with flying colors.
It'll be Persley up into the top spot. Schnapp going to fall back to that second spot. Grant going to run in third. Mitchell Moles up into fourth, and now back to fifth goes Frankie Guarini, the driver on the outside looking in. That is your quick qualifier, Brady Bacon. He'll take the Telstar Technologies. Fat has number 69 up into battle here. Contact! Look out! Mitchell Moles. Got fed an all-you-can-eat buffet right rear there over in turn number 4. Somehow saved it. Falls out of a transfer spot, but he keeps it rolling.
So a pretty excellent save there for Mitchell Moles, but gosh, does that hurt his night. If he has to go to the Elliott's Custom Trailers in kart semi-feature event by the time this is all said and done, and we'll come back to that, that is Steven Schnapp.
Schnapp's right rear just disintegrated over in turns 1 and 2, and that's another one where he might want to go count his lucky stars, because that could have easily dug in, and he could have ended up out at the fence.
And Bloomington often has that effect on people, so Mitchell Moles approaching Frankie Guarini over here and not happy with the incident that we saw here in turn number 4. And as I was saying, that really does hurt Mitchell Moles' night if he's not able to make this transfer, because his qualifying time, not exactly what he was looking for. So right now he's trying to offset that by making the transfer directly into the feature and not having to start toward the back of that semi-feature.
Speaking of sign language, he might have been letting Frankie know what the number 1 is. Offset, but he gets the drill.
And he might have seen that coming as well.
Aggressive racing by both drivers over in turns 3 and 4. Good job on the part of the 19. And really, we do have to give a good job to Frankie Guarini because that could have easily turned much, much worse had he not tried to get away from the situation as well. As we get a look at the replay here, and the right rear just exploded going into turn number 1 for Schnapp. And looked like here in the front straightaway, they slowed the frame rate down. The tire was going down.
Yeah, I had noticed that a couple laps prior when he was still your leader. I had kind of clocked that it was low on air, but some teams intentionally set low air in tires. This was most likely not the case for that.
Going in, once it tucked the sidewall under, it just came apart. So we'll try again.
And I also wouldn't have been convinced that this racetrack at this point of the night would be a place where you would prefer lower air in the right rear tire.
No.
I don't think that would be the
Might
situation.
Be counterintuitive.
Correct.
5 in, 5 to go. Here comes Pursley in 21. Pass it on Synergy Star Cams. We bring it back to green. Grant, Bacon, Guarini, Whitley, Moles, Maddox, and Gilbert as we go back to green. Here comes the 19 AZ quickly back into a transfer spot. Works by Whitley, now rolls by Guarini. Guarini bounces her off the cushion over turns 3 and 4. Moles going to show him the tail tank on the way by. He's up into the 4th spot. Guarini back to 5th, and up front, Dason Pursley up on that cushion at both ends of the speedway. Comes around to click off at lap number 7.
Before all that chaos started on that last restart, Brady Bacon was sitting outside of transfer position. He silently and sneakily got his way through, and he's now running 3rd, so well within a transfer spot.
Car gets a little tight that time over in turns 3 and 4 off of the cushion. Still plenty of room between himself and the 19, so Mole's not close enough to try to capitalize on that. Guarini continues to hold on to the final transfer spot. Behind him, battle for the 6th position. Maddox in the 28 holds it over Daniel Whitley. Whitley going to look to the outside, hums that right rear around to the front straightaway. No dice as the white flag is flown in this one. Checker flag going to drop for the 21 AZ as he skips her over the cushion. Dason Pursley going to bring back on the racetrack and holds on for the heat race win. Justin Grant, Brady Bacon, Mitchell Moles, Frankie Guarini, Daniel Whitley on the closing lap gets to 6. Brandon Maddox, Gabriel Gilbert, Steven Schnapp, and Logan Calderwood unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the Special Olympics of Indiana, Apache Transport, Auto Strap, Chalk, Amsoil, Beaver Stripes, number 21 AZ. Race fans, give him a hand, Dason Pursley. So Pursley with the win, Grant in 2nd, Bacon in 3rd, Moles in 4th, Guarini in 5th, Whitley, Maddox, Gilbert, Schnapp, and Calderwood. Now those finishing positions outside of those transfers, those are still very important. That lines up the B main. That is by your transfer organized by time. And, of course, the front row reserved for the 2 fastest drivers that failed to transfer on directly into the feature event.
Right, so it does continue to make that heat race finish important, and that sort of motivates these drivers to not sort of take it easy during the heat races, right? So keeping them motivated throughout the evening, and then, of course, that does shake things up at the front of this one as well. Dason Pursley picking up that heat race win. He was inside your top 6 cars in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, so that nullifies one of those heat race starter positions that will just go to your next fastest qualifier.
So kind of playing on a lot of what we saw yesterday is Dason Pursley picking up his 5th heat race win of the season. On into Ronda Supply heat race number 2. Driving the pole, this one's going to be Matt Westfall out of Pleasant Hill, Ohio. The Ray Marshall Motorsports Crestman number 33M. Next to him, it's going to be Braden Fox out of Avon, Indiana. The Jarvis Enterprises Fox Power DRC number 53. Next row from the inside, it's Cale Drake out of Collinsville, Oklahoma. Driving the Honest Abe Roofing Pendleton Farms Claxton DRC chassis number 2B. And next to him, Kevin Thomas Jr. to Coleman, Alabama. The Inferno Armor Lynch Machining Lucas Oil Center. Rocksteady Racing number 3. Next row from the inside, Max Adams out of Loomis, California. The Z-Max Western Speed Racing FG3 Power number 63. And going from the 6th starting spot, Ricky Lewis out of Oxnard, California. The Physical Medicine Consultants, Stensland Power DRC Chassis Morris Farms D Transport number 41. Joey Amantia out of Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. The JP Masonry Newman Chevrolet Chassis number 88J. He'll go from 7th, going from 8th. Going to be Chance Crum out of Snohomish, Washington. The Brudine Racing Scott with the Power DRC Chassis number 26. Sam Hines inside of your final row at Westfield, Indiana. Driver the Edge Rock Development Chevrolet DRC Chassis number 71H. And your final starter, first USAC start of the season for Todd Moole. He's out of Heathcote, Victoria, Australia. Driver the Mainline Dyno Log Claxton Maxim Chassis Microlight number 26AU. That'll be our scheduled lineup again for Ronda Supply Heat Race number 2 with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. So Matt Westfall on the 33, he has been a heat race win in full here during Indiana Sprint Week. Several times he has had the chance to talk to Drake. in good position to potentially have another conversation. He has gone to heat race victory lane 8 times in total this season. He and Logan Seavey both. Justin Grant at 9th, the only driver in double digits. Sir Heat Race a lot. Robert Ballou.
Yeah, Matt Westphal I would anticipate a pretty good challenger here out of Braden Fox. This is his local racetrack. This is where he prefers to race. He's been wildly successful here in local competition. So for Braden Fox, this feels just like home. He's starting on the front row of Rod and Supply Heat Race number 2 and hopefully has a good package under it.
Braden Fox is the current points leader in weekly racing competition here at the Bloomington Speedway. Leads by 22 markers over Harley Burns and Matt Thompson. They're both tied for the second spot currently. As they work up to number 4, we go to green. And just like that, Westphal going to jump out the advantage. Fox going to run in second. Here comes Kevin Thomas Jr. charging the inside. He'll hold on to the third spot. The 2B to the outside, trying to get a run. Amanti to the inside. Good battles going on second on back here as we work on lap number 2.
Kale Drake up to the top side of the racetrack, as you mentioned. Got a little bit of that Bloomington cushion and picked up a bit of a bounce. Saved it, set it back down, and now we got one more over, and that's Max Adams.
Ooh, Max Adams cranking her up to 11. Should have stopped at 10 over in turns 3 and 4. Brings it back under control. Contact to the back bumper, the 41 from Amantia. He and Ricky Lewis playing a little bumper tag onto the back straight with him. As CFL Transportation number 41 trying to hold on to the transfer spot here. Amantia to his inside as Lewis hopped her up high over in turns 1 and 2. Brings it back under control as we look at the battle for second. Fox has it. Kevin Thomas wants it.
Ricky Lewis and Joey Amantia, that battle continues to rage on for that final transfer position. Amantia with the advantage right now. It's like each time they get into turn number 2, one of them to the top, and they just are trying to anticipate that slider. They get into the cushion, and it just really upsets the race car.
Boy, Ricky Lewis going for broke there in turns 3 and 4. Swung her in and went for the fences. Unfortunately, comes up short on getting by the 88s. In fact, Amantia going to set his sights on the 2B. Akale Drake now as they work into turns at 3 and 4. Drake down to the bottom, the 88 to the outside. He'll have the advantage and the insurance.
Kale Drake's right rear tire getting very low on air, and you'll see him slow out of turn number 2. Going to try to keep it rolling, it looks like, but you have to worry if that same thing, there it goes.
And there it is. Oh, no. 26AU. Not quick enough to respond there. Got into the back of the 2B. And Chance Crum thought he was going to be an astronaut there for a second. Able to get out of the throttle, get the speed out of it, and set it back down. But another shredded tire here in heat race competition.
And all things considered, for the most part, everybody there doing a considerably good job avoiding that with the short amount of notice that they had. So it doesn't look like too much damage to anybody else besides that right rear of Kale Drake.
And none of the tires, we can see from the top, none of them are delaminating. There's no patches missing out of the tires. So as we get a look at the FloRacing replay here, and as you mentioned, his tire was already starting to go down. Lewis was trying to shoot to the outside of him. And everybody getting stacked up there is the 26AU coming in late. Tried to avoid, but just not quite quick enough. So they'll get the 2B on the hook. We'll see if he goes down to the Indy Metal Finishing Work Area. Remember, there is no guaranteed time until you get to the feature event, and that time is 60 seconds up until 5 to go. And if you go back for a second time, there is no guaranteed time. Helmet is off and in his lap, so that'll be the indication that he is probably done. Drake York on the radio letting us know about that. Thank you. So Matt Westphal leading in 33. Braden Fox lining up in second. Mentioned earlier, leads track standings. 3R Kevin Thomas Jr. What a story from last night. 20th in the B to 7th in the A after a harrowing crash.
And you can't really overstate how much talent that took out of both the crew working on the car and Kevin Thomas Jr. himself. He is, on paper, the undisputed GOAT of Tri-State Speedway when it comes to AMSL USAC National Sprint Car competition. He's got more wins than anybody. So not super surprising to see that.
And just wanted to prove, hey, I could start anywhere and still make it to the front. Round the NOS Energy start, can we go? The battle has been raging between Amantia and Lewis. Oh, Chance Crum, where are you going? just about went skyward once again, that time off of the back bumper of the 88 as that battle rages on once again. Lewis able to slide the 88 in the restart, but now going to retake it. Both drivers sitting up a transfer spots right now as Amantia going to set sights on the 53 to the back straightaway.
I thought maybe that this battle between Ricky Lewis and Braden Fox and Joey Amantia might slow down at some point, but Ricky Lewis going to roll to a stop on the front stretch.
He went up, he slammed that cushion. He slammed it hard enough that he took one of the lower body panels off of the car. And you can see the obvious frustration and have to wonder. You can see him stomping down inside the car. I wonder if the cushion actually came up and popped.
And it might have been underneath his foot, and he, that creates a pretty sketchy situation between throttle and brake and obstruction.
Wonder if it may have popped the floorboard up. Tough way to start, coming off of his 13th overall win of the season last night. Went out and picked up the win in the GW Elkin Southwest Championship at Route 66 Motor Speedway. And as I say that, he's going to go ahead and refire. So maybe just stamping things down and making sure it's good to go. Still in search of that USAC national victory. But last night's victory coming with the ASCS Elite Non-Wing Series presented by Abilene Powder Coating. He's won twice with them this year. He's won with the Boss Series. He's won a lot of local shows as well.
And he's been quietly getting much more successful with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Series. I was thinking to myself just the other night, man, we've been interviewing Ricky Lewis a lot more lately than we had been. So a pretty clear indication right there that he's picking things up.
Hard charger this week. That came in Lawrenceburg. Drove it up to a 6th place finish. Was 17th at Lincoln Park, 6th at Kokomo, 6th at the Berg, 7th at Circle City. Worst finish of the week was Terre Haute, had a 23rd place run.
And there were some mechanical issues that night that sidelined Ricky Lewis during the main event.
So field set to get back after it here. Single file past the NOS Energy Star Can. A 2-lap dash to the finish. They'll make that a 1-lap dash, excuse me. Forgot for the passing, they add the lap so they can come back by. Oh, we've got one up and over. Red light's going to come on. That is Chance Crum. And it has been a wild heat race and a wild series of events so far for Chance Crum. And that restart finally seeing him launch to the moon. As right now waiting for word from trackside on the condition of the driver. As he is up and out of the car, race fans, Chance Crum walking away. And caught Max Adams there trying to race to the outside.
And so Max Adams sitting here on the front stretch, got a pretty good view. It looks like his right rear still stood up, so most likely no damage for the 63. And I believe Drake York down trackside with an update. Drake?
Well, the good news is Chance Crum is hopped up out of the race car and is walking around under his own power, and that was a scary ride, Chance. So what happened from your vantage point?
I just hopped right rear. Just trying hard for that last transfer spot. White flag. trying to go for it, get around the outside, had a run, and then it closed up on me. So I'm just trying to be aggressive, trying to make the feature there. Car had good speed, just starting 8th, we're putting ourselves in a hole. Qualifying, we had a really bad vibration, and we were struggled. And then coming from the back, just trying to do everything we can. So it's a lucky way to end sprint week, but overall, we had a lot of good progress this week, I felt like, and I learned a lot. So we're happy to be here at sprint week. It's a lucky way to end, but we'll rebuild and come back in a little bit.
You said this might be the end of your sprint week, so have you gotten a chance to take a look at the car, and is it too badly mangled to come back later tonight?
It's okay. It might be fixable. We're just kind of racing as much as we can. Kind of a tight budget, so doesn't really make much sense, I don't think, to piece it back together. But we'll be back hopefully later this season and do some more.
Tough to see Chance Crum out of this heat race, but Brian, the good news is he is up and out of the race car and walking under his own power. And we talk about it a little bit. This is pretty much an operation with him and his dad, Kevin Rudine of Rudine Racing, helps out, but still a pretty low buck team and tough way to see their sprint weekend.
So getting things cleaned up over in turn number 2, just outside of the racing surface.
Still 1 lap to go in Rod and Supply heat race number 2, as you guys have mentioned, been kind of a crazy one. So again, throw the green and white together. Give it one more shot.
I look down as they're coming around. I see two.
So ready to refire. Continue Rod and Supply heat race number 2.
So again, it'll be the green and the white together. Matt Westfall, Kevin Thomas Jr., Joey Amantia, Braden Fox, Max Adams. They sit in transfer spots right now. Sam Hines in 6. Todd Moore and Ricky Lewis. Should round out your field when we get ready to go back to green.
So everybody going to reclaim their position. And you heard Brady Bacon mention it during his Honest Abe Roofing Fast qualifying interview that the cushion had developed somewhat low, so it looks like we're beginning to get it widened out just a bit.
They brought the till around, and it's moved up just a little bit here, as I believe Drake York with a quick update.
Well, Max Adams currently sitting in that all-important 5th and final transfer spot. He started in the 5th spot, but early in this heat race got shuffled out of line, ended up over the cushion, and was actually running dead last at one point in this race, and he's slowly but surely gotten his way into the 5th and final transfer spot. He's got Sam Hines and Todd Mule and Ricky Lewis behind him, so we'll have to wait and see if he's able to hang on, but a heck of a drive back up through the field for Max Adams.
Indeed, thank you very much. So Matt Westfall started the week on 15th at Lincoln Park, was 9th at Kokomo, 12th at the Berg, 12th place finish at Circle City, 15th at Terre Haute, and 13th last night. 1 year ago, finished 16th in this event. Twice a winner so far this year. March 8th with the Avante Windows and Doors USAC CRA Series out at Imperial Valley, and then weekly competition at Paragon. That was on June 22nd. But you'll have Kevin Thomas Jr. right on that back bumper, the in front of armor number 3, in pursuit as we go back to green.
Matt Westfall going to do what he's got to do to keep Kevin Thomas Jr. out of his hair on this final lap. KTJ with a slider on Westfall in turn number 3.
Well, just like that, he went in and messed up a fresh perm, got all up in his hair, and the 3R going to come around in the last lap, and he's going to steal away at the top spot victory to the Inferno Armor number 3. Matt Westfall to second, Joey Manti in third, Braden Fox in fourth, and Sam Hines with the final transfer spot. Ricky Lewis comes back to sixth. Max Adams, Tom Moole, Chance Crum, and Cale Drake unofficially running out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, out of Coleman, Alabama, the Inferno Armor, Lynch Machining, Lucas Oil Center, Rocksteady Racing, Creative Finish Powder Coating number 3. Our race fans, give him a hand, Kevin Thomas Jr. So on to TJ Ford's heat race number 3. Jaden Rogers out of Worthington, Indiana. The Midwest Down Service Spec Power J&J chassis number 66 going to be the pole of this one. Outside of him, Anton Hernandez out of Arlington, Texas. The Baldwin Fox Racing, Velocity USA, Fox Paving, Brewer Farms at number 5. Next row from the inside, that'll be the 24M. Hunter Maddox out of Bedford, Indiana, driving the TJD Roofing and Exteriors, Cummings Power, DRC Chassis, Tom's Marine Sales, number 24M. And to his right, that's going to be Chase Stockton out of Fort Branch, Indiana, the Bandit Ag, Davis Brothers, Fisher, DRC Chassis, number 5S. Third row from the inside, Briggs Danner out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, the Boulevard Truck Repair, E. Schneider & Sons Recycling, Apache Transport, Davis Brothers, Ryder, DRC Chassis, number 39. And from 6 in this one, that will be Logan Seavey out of Sutter, California, the Honest Abe Roofing, Rockwell Security, Indy Custom Stone, Abacus Racing, number 57. Kyle Shipley, the driver out of Phoenix, Arizona, driving the Cox Body Shop, Trainer Chevrolet, Triple X Chassis, DT Oil Services, number 4U. He will go to the inside of the 15. That's going to be Carson Garrett. Garrett out of Littleton, Colorado, the Altos Power Equipment, Hornbeck Concrete, Lugs Lawn Care, number 15. Final row from the inside in 26. You're going to find Matt Thompson out of Bloomington, Indiana, the Roans Garage, DRC, Stat Tool, number 26T. And your final starter comes to you all the way from Tullamore, New South Wales, Australia, driving the Supos Claxon Triple X, TCM number 45, and that is Troy Carey. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here for TJ Ford's heat race number 3 with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship.
So Logan Seavey lines up as your fastest qualifier in this TJ Ford's heat race number 3. He's going to line up on the outside of row number 3. Right behind him, Carson Garrett is in a tough spot compared to what he would have been doing if we had gotten to finish this event on Friday evening. Of course, Mother Nature disallowing that. So Carson Garrett probably a bit frustrated knowing that, you know, that Honest Abe Roofing fast qualifying time that he did pick up on Friday. It stands. It goes into the record books, and that's fantastic. However, it just doesn't do a whole lot for him tonight.
Coming out late in qualifying, but remember, on Friday, Shane Connell came out about 4 from the end and was top 5 in qualifying. So we see guys that are able to come out late and capitalize, and tonight, unfortunately, just not the case for the driver, the number 15. Like I said, mired back in this one. He's going to start in the 8th position. Looking ahead on the USAC schedule, coming up on August 15th, that's a Thursday night, $10,000 to win at Red Hill Raceway. It is the Salute to Levi Jones. This will be the 3rd attempt at this race this year, and hopefully the 3rd time's a charm. That's going to be on Thursday, August 15th. $30 to get through the gate. If you're 13 or up, underneath that, youth is going to be $5. The kids 5 and under get in free. Of course, the next event for the United States Auto Club is the big car is going to be out on the pavement at Jennerstown in Pennsylvania. That's going to be on Saturday, August 10th. And speaking of Silver Crown Cars, they are going to make their way back to Worldwide Technology Raceway. That's going to be on Friday, August 16th. The Rankin Technical College at Silver Crown Showdown presented by Welsh Heating and Cooling. That is all a part of NTT IndyCar Weekend down at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Of course, we follow that up with the Benthausen 100, the Dirt Mile of Illinois.
Finally getting back to the miles. Feels like it's taken a long time this season.
These big tracks, that's where you see Silver Crown cars really come to life, and we're excited for it. But right now, sprint cars back on track here. TJ Ford's heat race number 3 underway.
What a great start for Jaden Rogers, who gets out to that early jump. He's to the top side of the racetrack, has to kind of center it back out, coming out of turn number 2, which allows both Hunter Maddox and Anton Hernandez to close.
66 up to the outside, 24 down to the bottom. Lap number 1 is going to be Jaden Rogers. Hunter Maddox running in 2nd, Briggs Danner running in 3rd. However, the caution. Debris over in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Going to draw the caution lights on. And looks like a wheel cover. And Christy, you called it. It is the wheel cover off of the 24M.
So that thing snuck loose on him, which in a heat race might not be too big of an impact. We saw that happen to Logan Seavey over at Lawrenceburg Speedway the other night, although it didn't have much of an impact on his results. So for 8 laps here, 10 laps, I suppose, for Hunter Maddox, it likely won't be too big of a thorn in his side, but we'll see.
Hope.
We'll see. You just want to stay away from the top side of the racetrack if that's the case.
The case for Logan, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to finish packing this thing in. The mud had packed all the way past the wheel. Just the whole thing was caked in, but by doing so, he evened out the vibration, which he said was so bad he couldn't see.
And I believe it. And you had mentioned it as well from the booth.
Yeah, so his retinas are going to be sore if he can hold on to it. Past the NOS Energy start, can we get back after it? And he will avoid the high side here on the restart. Goes down to the bottom. The 24M can hold on to second. One driver not avoiding the high side is Jaden Rogers, but a 3-car battle right now for the 4th spot.
So Chase Stockin was trying to fend off Logan Seavey. He gets around him on the bottom side of turns number 3 and 4. He's now in that 5th and final transfer position. Meanwhile, back in the back, Kyle Shipley and Carson Garrett get together trying to fight for that real estate on the top.
Well, I thought Shipley was going to sail her off the high side of the racetrack there for a moment. Anton Hernandez with a big move to the outside on the 39 of Briggs Danner, trying to steal away the 3rd spot. Rolled her up on the cushion. Thought for a second it was going to bite him, but he got the right rear wound up enough. He was able to launch him down the front straightaway. Takes the spot over from the 39. As now here comes Stockton back to the inside. Got shuffled out of a transfer spot. And now the Bandit Ag number 5 working the inside line. Can't hold on to it, but he's still right there.
Chase Stockin is rallying back later in this one as he now rides in the 5th position. Coming out of turn number 4, he's now in a transfer position as we're winding down laps.
A huge amount of drive at the exit turn number 4. Has to wait on the car a little bit there at the exit turn number 2. Not so much that time. Adjusts his lineup a little bit. Contact with the 57. Seavey trying to get down there. Found the space occupied by the 5. They rub tires, but they keep it going. Seavey up and over the cushion, and now that opens the door for the 5S to roll on by Stockin. Up into a transfer spot and with insurance.
Chase Stockin coming out on the better end of this deal when it's all said and done. He now leads that pack that's been running so close together as the caution light comes out for Kyle Shipley on the backstretch.
Coming to a stop right about the midpoint of the back straightaway. And Shipley, they have been fighting mechanical problems all week long. The car looked like tonight it was finally running, but something going awry for the Phoenix, Arizona driver.
So see if they're able to fire Kyle Shipley back off where he can tag the tail. TJ Ford's heat race number 3 to try and round this thing out on the final night of Indiana Sprint Week. So one thing to keep your eye on with 3 laps to go in this 3rd heat race is that Logan Seavey, your Indiana Sprint Week point leader, sits outside of a transfer position when we come back to this green flag.
And he has been in and out of the transfer spot. I've lost count as they have been battling back and forth. Stockin and Danner has been absolutely going after each other here as we go back to green. Stockin again back down to the bottom, really letting it work for him here in the closing laps. Hernandez, the opposite side of that. The high side's been working for him as they'll work her off of the cushion. Advantage will be to the Bandit Ag number 5 as we've got 2 to go. Up front, though, it is Jaden Rogers getting the left side tires up there off of the cushion. Hunter Maddox there to try to capitalize to the inside of turns 3 and 4.
Briggs Danner up over the top of the cushion on the last couple of laps, so that let Logan Seavey and Carson Garrett sneak by.
Boy, Jaden Rogers through the cushion over in turns 3 and 4, and look at this, the 57 back into a transfer spot, steals away 3rd on the back straightaway. Checker flag going to drop in this one, though it will be the 24. Hunter Maddox through the chaos, coming away with a heat race win. Chase Stockin in 2nd, Logan Seavey in 3rd, Jaden Rogers and Briggs Danner unofficially your top 5. That was a wild one. And your winner comes to you out of Bedford, Indiana. Driver of the Auto Credit Airmaster Heating and AC. Tom's Marine Cells, Mega Cord number 24M. Race fans, give him a hand. Hunter Maddox. Chase Stockin in 2nd. Logan Seavey restarting in the 6th spot. Charges it up to 3rd. Jaden Rogers, who had led, bounced her off the cushion. He ends up in 4th. And Briggs Danner, who ran just about every position, but 1st and 2nd in that one, ends up running out your top 5.
So Hunter Maddox just picked up his first career heat race win with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Series. That's pretty big for that team. I know just the other night when we were here at Bloomington Speedway, when he had transferred into the feature event that was not to be, he was really excited about that. I can't imagine how excited he is about picking up that heat race win.
So Car IQ Heat Race number 4, driver to Brazil, Indiana, going to be on the pole. This one, the Britt Arrow, DRC number 16 of Harley Burns. Outside of him is going to be the 15X. That is CJ Leary out of Greenfield, Indiana, the Altos Power Equipment Valvoline one-way DRC chassis number 15X. Next row for the inside, it's going to be Shane Cottle out of Kansas, Illinois, the Epperson Painting Incorporated Speedway Power DRC chassis Earls number 2E. And next to him is going to be Robert Ballou out of Rockland, California, the Suburban Subaru Dean's Waterfront Services Donna DRC chassis number 12. Rylan Gray going to go from 5th at Greenfield, Indiana, the Speedtown Comfort Finish Line Mowing DRC number 06. And to his right is going to be Kyle Cummins out of Princeton, Indiana, the Avanti Windows and Doors Stanton Mach 1 chassis number 3P. The 21K, that is Kobe Simpson out of Bonham, Texas, the Beattown Automotive Canada DRC chassis entry. He'll go from the inside of row number 4. And next to him, he's out of Colleyville, Texas, the Second Opinion Auto Center Stanton Maxim Dirt Defender number 71W of Weston Gorham. Final starter here in Car IQ Heat Race number 4 is out of LaPel, Indiana, driver the CB Fabricating Beaver Materials. Evan Jackson, number 27, that is Evan Mosley. As that'll be your scheduled lineup in tonight's final heat race, brought to you by Car IQ. So going back to Hunter Maddox, he's another one throughout the season. We've seen him just steadily make progress each and every night. Very patient, but very aggressive in his approach. Was able to avoid some of the chaos going on around him in that heat race. And like you said, as Richie confirmed, picking up his first career heat race win with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship.
And it's not like he started on the front row of TJ Ford's heat race number 3. He started 3rd in that one with Anton Hernandez and Jaden Rogers on the front row. He had to be patient, he had to be calculated, and he had to be consistent to be able to pass those cars in order to get to the front of that one.
You know, and Anton, he kind of fell back at the beginning there. We saw him charge back up through the field. Jaden Rogers, who led the majority of that one, unfortunately the cushion binding him over in turns 1 and 2, ended up falling back. And Logan Seavey, who started 6th, had been up in a transfer spot, got knocked out of a transfer spot and was able to race his way back in. A ton of storylines in one 10-lap race.
And not a ton of real estate, which is what put Logan Seavey in those situations. Just not a whole lot of places for him to go when he's trying to pass cars that are 2 and 3 wide in front of him. When you do that is when you get yourself into some tricky positions. And Logan Seavey, being, you know, such a talented race car driver that he is, able to avoid all of that.
13 times a winner with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship, on the cusp of tying one Tom Bigelow, who set the record for single-season race wins at 14 all the way back in 1977. Already matched the 4-race record of Ricky Hood this year. That was back in 1985. So that tells you how hard it is to not only break a record, but set a record in this series.
And this year especially, the competition seems to be stouter than it's been as a while as we come to the green flag in Car IQ Heat Race number 4.
And we'll see if this one stays as they work around the NOS Energy Star Can. Well, no, it's not going to stay because we got 3 of them wadded up. Front row, they were a little separated there coming around to the wave of the green flag. And then, well, we had a no parking situation going on behind them. You got Gray, you got Simpson, and looks like Mosley in that one as well.
That's a tough break for Rylan Gray, who had a really great Honest Abe Roofing qualifying effort that lined him up on the inside of row number 3. So within the top 8 in qualifying there, and being able to finish this heat race in good measure would have been excellent for his starting position tonight. So it's not too late necessarily, depending on how much damage there is down on that 06 race car. So perhaps able to restart and give it another try. We'll see.
Well, Drake alluded to it earlier with Max Adams, where he had fallen all the way to the back of his heat race. He was able to race his way back forward and get into a transfer spot, so it can be done. Speaking of Drake, down to the infield.
Well, Brian, I just got a good look at all 3 of the race cars, and good news, everything is straight on those race cars. And if you're going to be in a multi-car accident, that's probably the best time and best spot to be involved in an accident, as you're not really going at that high a rate of speed, so less likely to bend something. But all 3 cars are getting turned around and are set to refire.
Thank you very much. 27 has sped away. The 06 going to fire here in the front straightaway, getting the 21 into the proper position, letting him drop it down into gear, and now he will refire as the field makes their way by.
Just look at them stack back up. 0 laps completed in this one, so it'll be complete restart side by side, with the exception of the cars who were involved in that incident being relegated to the tail.
Another shot at this here, guys. 16, 15.
So field lined up, ready to try it again. So that one coming back after they wadded up at the start there at the exit to number 4. So your front row going to get another shot out of here. Burns in the 16, Leary in the 15X. Up to the NOS Energy Star Can. Much better start this time. Away with the green flag, and we get after it.
Harley Burns to the bottom side of the racetrack. CJ Leary going to look for a way around. That gets him into Robert Ballou, and we're tangled up once again. Kyle Cummins involved in that one, along with Harley Burns coming to a stop.
So Evan Mosley and Rylan Gray just about get involved in that one. They're both able to make their way by, but Burns at the front of the field sideways, and everybody's scrambling from there.
So you can see the tail tank bumper of CJ Leary's car continuing to hang on, but it's sagging just a bit, and you can see the front bumper on the 12 of Robert Ballou with a significant indentation.
I'm going to say, Robert, he had nowhere to go on that one.
Indeed.
Get a look at the FloRacing replay and try to see what happened here. The 16 going in, and car kicked sideways, and that kind of put him into a stall, it looked like. We'll see if we can run it back and get one more look at it as they slow the frame rate down a little bit. Rolls it in low, brings it up across the racetrack. You'll see starting to go around, and it's hard to tell if the 15 had any contact on him there, but he was on the brakes, and that is where Robert Ballou slammed into the back of him.
Yeah, so just a couple of cars trying to avoid that altogether, and in the end, a lot of contact happening throughout the field.
So Cummins cleared from the incident. I believe Drake York down watching on.
Yeah, Brian wasn't able to get a fantastic look at the 3P of Kyle Cummins, but as you said, he is headed off the racetrack into the Indy Metal finishing work area. As far as Harley Burns goes, he has a flat left rear tire, and he's going on the back of the side-by-side right now. Not 100% sure if there's more extensive damage than that, but we would assume he is going to the Indy Metal finishing work area as well. And Brian, just as I said, that the left rear radius rod has become disconnected from the axle, so that's going to be a more of a pit trip than an Indy Metal finishing work area trip.
So get into the field realigned here. 6 remain. We'll see if anybody is able to return, as it looks like Mosley going to go ahead and exit stage right as well. He was involved in the first one, got caught up in the second one, and looks like a right rear is down on the number 27 as he rolls it back into the pit area.
So what a tough heat race altogether for Evan Mosley. And Harley Burns as well heading off on the hook for this one.
So that will crisscross him. The 15X of Leary from the outside to the inside now. He'll be on the pole. Shane Cottle going to go to his outside. Robert Ballou going to restart in the 3rd spot. Weston Gorham going to restart in 4th. Rylan Gray in 5th. Gobi Simpson rounds out your lineup in 6th.
And wouldn't you know it, the rear bumper of Shane Cottle's car also looks to be a little dismembered.
Little deformed as the Avanti Windows of Doors number 3 able to make his way out of the Indy Metal finishing work area. So we'll see what Cummins can do from the back of the field.
He was 4th in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, so as long as he can make the transfer out of this one, he should be in pretty good shape come feature time. So Kyle Cummins just going to have to be a little bit patient here, let things sort out in front of him, and ensure that he gets a transfer spot.
A little bit of a silver lining. He's only lost 1 spot.
That's a great point.
Nevertheless, still one more car he's going to have to pass in this one.
Which has proven to be challenging.
So we'll see what he does from the back of the field. Leary, Cottle on that front row. Couple of bent bumpers in this one as we get ready to go back to green.
CJ Leary getting a dig off the bottom time that time. Every restart prior to this, he was on the outside of the racetrack, so a little bit different surface that time.
Able to work up into the race lead. Cottle saw the car took off, and then it's like the rear end kind of broke loose on him a little bit. Loss of speed to the front straightaway, finds it though as he works to the bottom side of the racetrack. No surprise there for Connell as Robert Blue streaks her up to the high side of the Speedway, retakes the second spot in 12, goes up to the cushion over turns 3 and 4. Connell coming back to his inside. The man going to fend him off for the time being. Connell in third, Ryland Gray in fourth, and battle for fifth. Gorham has it. Here comes Cummins to the outside in 3. He's got it.
So your leader, CJ Leary, running different lines in each corner. In turns number 3 and 4, kind of running that diamond line. In 1 and 2, he has been running the top, but this time he goes to the bottom, which opens the top side for the Blue.
Boy, Robert Blue got a big run. It actually shot the car down the racetrack. He nearly went over the right rear of CJ Leary. Had to back out of the throttle. Car kind of got squirrely underneath him there for a second. Brings it back under control, and now Leary knows he's there. He's going to quit tested lines and go to the high side here as they work onto the back straightaway. Gaps the 12 immediately. 3-car battle for the runner-up spot. Connell, Gray, and Cummins all in that mix right now.
So Kyle Cummins sits in that final transfer position. He could be content there, but he might want more as he's going to try to get a good run on Shane Cottle, who is running the top side of the racetrack flawlessly right now.
CJ Leary leading, Robert Blue comfortably in second. Then it will be the 06 of Ryland Gray. Gray's another driver that's really been starting to improve as we continue on throughout the 2024 season. Behind him, the Avanti windows the doors number 3, shooting the top side, work by Cottle. Cottle going to back to his inside. Look out the 3. Going to back her in a little bit too hard over in turns 3 and 4. Caution line's going to come on. Pushed it that much too far.
Yeah, perhaps just some aggression on Kyle Cummins' part, trying to continue to propel that 3P forward, and just a little over rotation there that got him sideways and did him in.
So we'll see if the 3P gets pointed around to the right direction and able to refire. 5th place finish 1 year ago at Bloomington. Last night was 4th at Tri-State, had a 3rd at Terre Haute, a 4th at Circle City. Picked up the win at Kokomo, had a 2nd at Lincoln Park. His worst finish so far this week has been at Lawrenceburg in 24th.
So this certainly changes things for your leaders of CJ Leary and Robert Ballou. Robert Ballou getting another opportunity at a single file restart, whereas he was not in 2nd place on that last restart where we saw. So he's going to get another chance here to try and make something happen initially on the start.
Leary, once he knew Ballou was there, was able to gather up, find the high line, and take off. As they work off a turn number 4, we go back to green.
30 laps remain in this one. CJ Leary into the corner. Robert Ballou up to the top side of the racetrack. Not going to give up on it just yet. CJ Leary ran the bottom that time.
Cummins trying the bottom side of the Speedway on the 21K. Kobe Simpson trying to get back up to battle for a transfer spot. You're going to have 2 to go this time. It is Leary, Ballou, Gray, Cottle, Gorham right now sitting in the top 5.
And you can see how treacherous the top side of the racetrack is, especially over here in turns number 1 and 2, where the cushion is just kind of jagged and definitely difficult to perfect.
White flag. Cummins bounces her hard off of the cushion. He's got the transfer spot with 1 to go. Shane Cottle, 3rd. Gray, 4th. Onto the back straightaway. Cummins daylight in the 71 here as they work into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag drops for CJ Leary in Car IQ Heat Race number 4. Robert Ballou in 2nd. Shane Cottle, Ryland Gray, Kyle Cummins able to fight back to a transfer spot. Weston Gorham, Kobe Simpson, Evan Mosley, and Harley Burns unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Greenfield, Indiana. The Altos Power Equipment, Valvoline, Hornbeck Concrete, number 15X. Race fans, give him a hand. CJ Leary. 5th time this season that CJ Leary has topped a heat race for the USAC AMSO Sprint Car National Championship. So that'll set the stage for the drivers advancing into the feature event, and those going to have to fight their way in. Evan Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event. So we mentioned the driver, the number 57, Logan Seavey, matching the 4-race win record of Ricky Hood in 1985. That was 4 in a row in a single season. Irish Saunders checking in here, and in 1985, Hood driving the Blackie Fortune number 39. Thank you, Irish. So we'll have heat race winners coming up.